Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I'm super excited to announce the release of my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. If you're ready to alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level in 2021, head over to goldenkey.gift to download the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD. All right, all you positive heads, welcome to the show. So happy to be here with you all as always. Truly a pleasure, and hope you are all having a magical moment wherever you are. I know I am. It's a beautiful day here in sunny Southern California, and I get to do the show, and it is such a gift to me. And thank you all for playing your role in this this experiment in 3D with me. I have a review here I'd like to read on iTunes. You guys know I love my iTunes reviews. They help us to reach new people. And this one came from Summertime Bella. She said, "Hey guys, I absolutely love listening to Brandon and his guests. His enthusiasm for this show is infectious, and I always learn so much. I especially love learning about all things manifestation." Well, how appropriate, Summertime Bella, because that's exactly what we're going to talk about again today. Shocker. Put on your surprise face, everyone. Surprise. And I appreciate you taking the time to review. I really do. And for those of you who haven't done so, I would love a review from you too. Helps to fuel my fire, continue this labor of love, and helps us to reach new people as well. So good things all the way around. Let's see. If you're not on the Facebook group, Positive Heads with an S, it's a great private group. We made it private so that you can open up, share, connect with other listeners, and just a wonderful, wonderful place to meet other P-heads, as I so affectionately refer to you guys as. And so get on there if you're not. And, of course, writing questions. I haven't taken any questions recently, but I still love getting them, and I'm definitely going to be rattling off some questions here shortly in coming episodes. So send them if you got them. Would love to hear your questions, and it's a great way for us to co-create the content of the show. As far as today's episode, what I would like to talk about is manifestation station, and how we can get on that train at the station. And one of the ways to derail us from that whole ride that we so want to be on. Everyone wants to be on the manifestation train, I believe, no matter where you're at in your life, what your perspective is on the ultimate nature of reality. Everyone is looking to manifest more of what they want to see in their life, I believe, right? And one of the biggest pitfalls, I know I've bumped up against, and I know some of you guys bump up against it as well, is cynicism. Cynicism is one of those obstacles that it's as one person put it, it's easy. Cynicism is easy. An optimist is a braver cynic. And as someone who has definitely done my share or had my share of judgmental, cynical kind of thoughts, especially in younger years, it's easy. It's easy, especially for a really intelligent person, to be cynical. A lot of times that's the biggest pitfall that you see cynical people and really highly intelligent people bump up against, right? Same thing, I talk about sometimes with really beautiful women. Same thing. It can be a challenge, right? That gift of beauty, well, it can turn them into sort of cynics in a sense where everyone is coming at them trying to get attention and energy, and it shuts them down. It becomes this, what's apparently a gift becomes somewhat of an obstacle at times. So same thing with intelligence. It can lead to cynicism. So we need to be really, really careful with this pitfall. Those of us out there who are looking to pick things apart, when you understand that you're creating your reality with the energy that you give, it's everything, because you can pick something apart and now it's in pieces and you're right. Or you can choose to see the beauty. You can choose to see what's good about what's happening. You can be the optimist. You can be a braver cynic, and then you create that to be true. And if you're cynical, whether or not this works, I would challenge you to apply and see for yourself. Right? You will find that the opposite of creativity is cynicism. Get more in touch with your creative self, and watch the cynicism disappear. And as you watch that disappear, watch how things blossom and become more alive by having that optimist perspective instead of that cynical perspective. It leads to so much more beauty in your life, and it reiterates the truth that you're creating your reality with your perspective. There is no definitive anything. You're creating it. You're the creator. You're given this raw lump of clay called 3D reality that can be looked at from all kinds of angles. And, what you believe it to be is what it becomes for you. And when you understand that rudimentary thing, instead of constantly talking about these external circumstances and judging them, which is what a cynic is doing many times, let's move on beyond that and realize, it's what I make it because I'm the creator. Play with that. Play with that idea. It's the next level of your cynical journey. And hey, I'm no judge. If someone's cynical, be cynical. That's serving you, and that's perfectly imperfect, just like everything else is, right? It's right where it is. It's right where it needs to be. That's okay. But if you're ready to move on and you want to create, if your aim is indeed to create more of what you want to see in your world, we've got to drop this cynicism. Another quote by George Carlin: "Inside every cynical person, there is a disappointed idealist." And I believe this to be true. So often people get their hopes and dreams and wishes and, this optimist perspective crushed. And, I've been a very optimistic person most of my life, and it has served me well, in spite of all kinds of adversity and overcoming trials and tribulations. I've sort of bounced back to that idealist, which is giving me that youthful, dreamer energy. And someone could look at it and judge it cynically, but I can tell you from my firsthand experience how it served me. It's created health. It's created abundance. It's created love. It's created connection. It's created all the wonderful things that I'm so grateful for in my world. So is it wise, or am I foolish? Well, I would say I'm wise, because it is serving me in a way that creates the reality that I want to see more of. I saw another quote: "Cynicism is the humor of hatred." I think that's a little strong. That's a little bit of a strong statement. I don't know if I'm going to 100% get behind that quote, but I think there's a little bit of truth in it. This sort of constantly making jokes, cynical jokes, poking holes in things, trying to sort of bring it back down to earth so that it is mundane and boring and plain and no beauty or magic in it. Well, guess what you've created, cynic? You've created just that. If that's what you seek, congratulations. If you want magic and beauty and things to wonder and marvel at in your life, you might want to reconsider it. So that being said, I do have a clip here I want to share that touches on this a little bit. It touches on proof. It's called Proof That This Stuff Works. And it's, of course, by Abraham here. So much good content. I never endingly can search for things and find good content that is in line with what I'm resonating with from Abraham. And this one I found on the Endless Inspiration YouTube page. Let's take a listen, and then we'll talk about it a little bit.
No wobble? You knew?
I did know.
Hi.
Those are good things to acknowledge, because when a manifestation matches what you knew you had going on vibrationally and you acknowledge it, it just shores you up. Yeah.
I believe this. And when I look to manifest success, excuse me, and it's not seeming to happen, and I feel okay about it, I sometimes think, well, I sure hope this stuff works.
Yeah. So you move from belief back into hope. That's all right, but let's clean up some terminology there. Because as you understand this law basis, and then you'll say what you just said in slightly different terms. When I'm looking to manifest something, we would say, when I'm allowing the manifestation to be realized by me. Because you're not manifesting, you're creating the environment that allows the manifestation. And there's a distinction, if you can hear that distinction. So it's not like you going out and getting it, because when that's your approach, then you're more aware of the absence of it. And when you're aware of the absence of something you want, there's a big wobble in that, isn't there? So when you think about contrast caused you to create a vibrational version, and that vibrational version is ready for you. If it hasn't manifested, it only means you're not ready for it. We'll say that again. That's worth hearing. What your manifestation is ready for you, but if it hasn't manifested yet, you're not ready for it. So the vibration of your vortex, you know the vortex, we wrote a whole book about the vortex. The vortex is the vibrational reality. It annoys humans. Oh yeah, there's a vibrational reality. I want the money in my bank, not in some vibrational reality. But the vibrational reality is the precursor to what you call reality. So there's a vibrational version of it. So your work is to create here, where your point of attraction is, a climate, an atmosphere, a mood. It's like the scientists with their petri dish. They create the perfect environment in order to grow what they intend to grow in it. You kind of get what we mean by that? So you're creating the environment that allows what's in your vortex to flow easily, non-resisted, non-restricted, non-hindered into your awareness. That's why we want you to accept that emotions are manifestations. And ideas that come to you are manifestations. That means the flow's going. And if you would say, oh good, the flow's going, I'm getting the emotion, I'm getting the thoughts, then the momentum would continue and you would get the full-blown manifestation. But if you say, oh yeah, I got all kinds of ideas, but it never shows up, now you've thrown stuff on the path of least resistance. Did you hear that? That's the clearest that we've ever explained that to you. That, because we're talking about momentum, aren't we? So there's momentum. When you feel good, that's momentum. That means manifestation's on the way. When the emotion is there, that's a manifestation. When the ideas start flowing to you, that's a manifestation. When impulses start occurring to you, that's manifestation. And if you keep that open by not blocking it with your incessant looking to see if it's there yet, it will be there. It must be there. It has to be there. It must be there. It's certain that it will be there. And instead of going from belief to hope to doubt, you'll go from belief to knowing. We want you to know it before it manifests. Don't make it manifest to prove itself to you. It won't. If you need the proof before you believe it, slows everything way down. Oh, in a weak moment it could sneak in for a minute, but it won't last. In other words, sometimes you're off your game and you're not doubting like you usually do. And ideas come and stuff starts happening, and then you say, whoa, this isn't the way my life usually goes. What sort of a weird vortex am I in anyway? Things don't work out for me. Everything comes to a stop. We're a little dramatic, but it's you. It is. It's you.
No, Abraham, it's good that you're funny. I think that's good. So I really get all that, and I'm feeling good. Feeling good, thinking, knowing, I think, that it's all going to happen. And then...
That it all is happening. These are key words. It's not going to happen as in hasn't happened. It is happening as in is happening.
Is
Busted.
Happening. Yeah.
But well, this is good, isn't it? Yeah.
Is happening. And then I say, well, maybe I'm being irresponsible.
About what?
Feeling so good about something that I haven't seen happen.
Oh yeah, if you got to face,
then I feel guilty about feeling good about it.
Well, that's if you've got to face reality before you create reality, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, that's good.
You can face others' realities, but then often that just makes you diminish your own value. They can do it, but I'm not doing it. You don't want to face reality. You are a creator of reality. And we could hear you finding the bugaboos in your own words as they were coming out of your mouth. Because our knowing of who you are and what you want and what you've got going on is so strong that in the vibrational face of that, you can feel the resistance that you're throwing on your own trail. And so you could soothe all of that a little bit by just talking past tense, what I used to do, or I have done, or what I sometimes do, rather than what I always do. But really, if you're having a hard time talking yourself into believing something, focus on things you already believe. Because this is not an exercise in challenging beliefs until they go away. Because you can't challenge a belief and make it go away. Because when you challenge it, it gets more momentum. Ooh, did you hear that? Esther had a dream the other night where she literally wrestled someone to the ground and killed them. Really big person, too. Really big and really annoying. And as soon as that one was disabled, 10 more came forward in her dream, and she said, "Oh, crap. I know how this works." In other words, you just have to find something that doesn't wobble. So, you want to talk about something specific? In other words, what is it that you want to create that is not showing itself to you with abundant, quick enough evidence?
Success in my job and getting back to the incredible success I had, which I'm not seeing.
All right, so that's interesting, isn't it? So, anybody else relate to that? I remember it better than it is now. That's a little uncomfortable, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So, knowing what you now know, and even thinking about what we've just activated here in these few minutes that we've been together, can you explain to us, just sort of in general terms, what you now know you had going on that was at the basis of that success? Can you find any? In other words, did you feel secure?
Yes.
Were you interested in what you were doing?
Yes.
Did you feel an eagerness about it?
Yes.
Do you think you were more solution-oriented or problem-oriented?
Maybe problem-oriented.
Then? Did you believe once you identified something that needed to be done that you could do it?
Yes.
So there was the problems were more like questions that you were looking for answers, mm-hmm. and there was exhilaration in finding the answers. Mm-hmm. Do you think that you just generally felt more secure?
Yes. Yes.
And this is the big question. This is the thing that we really want all of you to consider. It's such an important question, and you can't get the answer wrong because we'll help you mold it until you feel it the way we want you to feel it. But this is the big question. Was your feeling of security in response to the conditions that you were living? Or were the conditions that you were living in response to the security that you were feeling? Because you see, that's the thing about trying to remember things from the past. You weren't sorting it out like that then so much. In other words, do you think your feeling of security back then was because conditions were better? Or do you think that conditions were better because you just felt more secure?
Yes.
Yes, it's an interesting thing. The more you go through life and the more you see the problems of the world, the less secure you become. The more objective you try to be, the more you introduce wobble into your experience and the less secure you become. And that's why you look for the past. Lost youth, lost clarity, lost. And we say, it's not lost, it's just buried under a few layers of resistance that you've got going on. It'll come back when you stop doing that thing that you're doing that covers it all up. In the early days, we used to offer an analogy. It's like you're walking down this pathway and you're spewing, you don't mean to, but you're spewing this inky mist. So everywhere you go, there's this red inky mist in your way. And you keep wanting to get out into the clear air, but everywhere you go, there's no clear air. It's just this inky mist. And we say, if you'd stop spewing it, it would dissipate, and pretty soon you'll be out in the clear air. See? And so that's what we're talking about here a little bit. That you are not less now than you were then. You are more than. You are much more now than you were then. Your vortex is much more dynamic. There's much more success queued up for you than you've ever lived before. This is the biggest and the best vortex that you've ever had going on. There's a question about why you might have more resistance, but that's easy to answer today, isn't it? You got more resistance because you've been weighing the pros and the cons and the pluses and the minuses. So you've been letting your wobble start and get bigger and bigger and bigger, and now you're saying, I can't control the way I feel. And we say, yes, you can. Just start on subjects where there's not much wobble and show yourself. You can clean every subject up by starting with a wobble-free topic and staying there until thoughts about things that have been troubling you will begin to occur to you in your wobble-free zone and take you to new places, new emotions. That security will return to you. It is certain, you see.
Good.
But you got to catch it when it's slower and easier. You can't wait until you're not sleeping at night and then process your way out of it. Mm-hmm. You got to catch it at the earlier stages. That's really interesting and good. You got that, didn't you?
Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, really good.
So, a lot of juicy stuff here. Move from belief back. She talks about this guy, this person who's questioning her, how he moved from belief back into hope. And she really breaks it down how manifestation works. She's like, really, you're not manifesting anything. You're creating the environment that allows for it. It's ready for you. It's ready for you the moment you think of it. It's in this vibrational escrow. It hasn't manifested. It means if it hasn't, it means you're not ready for it. The vibrational reality, which she was like, some people get annoyed by, but it is what it is. It's the precursor to 3D reality. And your job, I love the comparison of your job is to create a mood, an environment, like a petri dish, she said, is to use as an example of what a scientist does. For me, I love creating spaces and moods and lighting and decorating and those sorts of things. So that really resonates, that idea of creating a mood, setting a tone, setting an environment. That's what you do. You're the one who builds the space, build it and they will come, right? That's what you're doing. And when you feel good, that means manifestation is on the way. You get more impulses. That's manifestation. Quit blocking by looking to see if it's there yet. Just let go of the, is it there yet? And that's a big one, man, for all of us. I know it's a big one for me. I'm looking, is it there yet? Is it there yet? Relax on it being there. Is it really better when Christmas Day arrives as opposed to Christmas Eve? That's a great example I can use in my own life. For those of you who celebrate Christmas, you know what I'm talking about. It's Christmas Eve has the magic to it that's different than Christmas Day. Get in touch with the Christmas Eve magic. That's the energy you're seeking. She's like, and if you need, the proof before you believe it, it slows things way down. Stop saying it's going to happen. It's happening. It's move into, this knowing that it's happening. And if it's something that's not there yet, just relax about it. It's not something you need to be. You don't need it to be satisfied, do you? Think about it. Is there anything you truly need right now? You don't need anything. You're content. You have it all. You're fed, you're clothed, you're warm, you're blessed. Be grateful for anyone who's listening to this broadcast. Their basic needs are met in this moment. And that means you have achieved that state. And congratulations on that. That is huge because there's other people who are struggling with that right now. So focus on what you have to be grateful for instead of what's not there yet. Let's stop being so ungrateful for the gifts that we have. We take them for granted until they're gone, right? How many times have you had something that you took for granted and then it's gone? And then you're like, whoa, I took that for granted. I wish I had it back. How many of you have ever hurt yourself and you could no longer use a limb or something like that for some time? Whoa, I took that so for granted. What if we focused on all the things we have to be grateful for now? That's the doorway to get to what you want to see more of, And as she says, if you go to face reality before you create reality, you're in trouble. This is why I always say, be it to see it. If there's something that you're talking about and you're referencing yourself in past tense and it's sort of a negative slant to it, use the past tense. I used to, don't define yourself. Be really cautious of your words. And if you're struggling with any of this, observe it and change to focus on things you already believe. This is not an exercise in challenging beliefs until they go away. When you challenge something, it gets stronger. And that's a point I've been trying to make a lot on the podcast lately. Let's not focus on challenging things. It's such a subtle thing. And I understand as someone who's very feisty, I get it. But let's not challenge beliefs until they go away. Let's focus on what we already believe. Let's relax about where we're at. The journey is the goal. And I love how she talked about his past success. Were you solution-oriented then or problem-oriented? When you're feeling, was your feeling of security in response to the conditions you were living or the conditions you were living in response to the security you were feeling? So by focusing on these things that we believe in and all these things we have to be grateful for, what are we feeling? Secure. This is going to bring more things. That's creating the mood. That's creating the environment. The more you see the problems, the less secure you become. So stop spewing black ink, as she said, this cloud around you. You're more now than you were then, ever were. You have the biggest vortex you've ever had right now. I love how she says, clean every subject. If there's a touchy subject that throws you into a wobble, and we've certainly been covering some of those recently, focus on a wobble-free topic. And then the thoughts that bothered you will begin to occur. And when you're in this zone, you can go new places with them because you've got steady ground to stand on. Let's not go straight into the deep end of the pool if we're in a wobble, right? So much good wisdom, so much good stuff, as always, from Abraham. And look at that. We're out of imaginary time. Luckily, there's plenty more where that came from. So we will be back. Until next time, I have a wonderful track to leave you with. This is Ghost Pong, and the song is Emancipator. Hope you enjoy. Until next time, journey well. Love you all. Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.